Since the Multiverse saga began in Phase 4, there have been 12 movies. In today's video, I'm going to rank the movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Let's get to it. Coming in 12th place is going to be Thor: Love and Thunder. Man, this movie, it's just not good. It tries too hard to be everything it's not, and it's nowhere near a good time. That's why this is in last place. Next up in 11th place, we have The Marvels. I don't know what it was about this movie, but I think a Captain Marvel 2 would have been better to have in between Captain Marvel 1 and this movie. This movie definitely feels like it should have been a third movie in a trilogy. Unfortunately, this is the one movie that had Nick Fury in it where I was like, why is this guy even in it? Before this movie, we had Secret Invasion, and just his tonal shift as a character changed so much between the two. I just didn't really understand it. It just felt out of place. The whole movie felt out of place. The best part about this movie was Kamala Khan, and she was the best part about her TV show as well. Overall, it's not a great movie. It's nothing to overhate on either. In 10th place, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Man, when I left this movie, I felt so underwhelmed with it. They had Kang built up to be this ultimate bad guy, and he just got defeated by some stupid ants. The quantum realm was weird. I don't know. The Ant-Man movies were so much better when they were grounded films. They really should have just stuck with that theme. MODOK sucked. I don't know why they recasted Ant-Man's daughter, but Katherine Newton didn't add anything to it that the other woman that played Scott's daughter had. I don't know. It felt so out of place. It made no sense. That's probably what you could say was best about this movie, is that you just don't know. In 9th place, we have Black Widow. This movie isn't that bad, but given that it came out during the early days of COVID, it came out after the character of Black Widow had already died in the MCU. It's just another movie that felt so out of place. It should have been in Phase 3. I don't know what their deal was or what their thought process was. It's almost like they literally only made it to give Scarlett Johansson a solo movie, but mainly to add the fact that Florence Pugh is now going to be the central woman to take over in the MCU. In 8th place is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. More like the Multiverse of Mid, if you ask me. This movie I was so excited for. I love Doctor Strange. He's one of my favorites. And they had just given so much away so early on. What should have been the coolest part of the movie was one of the slowest parts and worst parts of the movie with the Illuminati, which is just so unfortunate because it's such a cool concept. And also, for being called the Multiverse of Madness to take place for a little bit in 3 different worlds is absurd. They should have visited so many more places. There should have been so many more cameos. I don't know. I was very upset when I walked out of this movie. I did not like it, and I still kind of don't like it. I will watch it once every couple years and just be reminded of how much it disappointed me. In 7th place is The Eternals. I wish that this movie was actually a TV show. It seems like over there at Marvel and Disney and even Star Wars as well, they can't quite seem to understand what should be shows and what should be movies. You can't have a cast of like 9 characters or whatever it was and have us have an emotional attachment to all of them in this 2-hour and 20-minute movie. It just doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I do feel that it was overhated, and I didn't mind the story and the little twist that they had within it. I don't know a lot about the Eternals from the comics, so I didn't really have anything to go based off of. So it was almost like going into something fresh, and that I liked. In 6th place is Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever. I feel like this movie also gets overhated simply for the recast T'Challa movement. I understand why they didn't, and I feel like if they did recast T'Challa and did the Black Panther 2 story the way it was originally done, we would have all just compared it to Chadwick's performance anyways, and it would be hated on anyways. So I feel they did the best with what they had to do, and to have a film almost go into production and then completely restart it from scratch, I think Ryan Coogler did a great job. And the stuff with Namor and the underwater stuff when he's showing Shuri around is some of my favorite. I love it. So this movie is much better than I think people give it credit for. In 5th place is going to be Captain America 4: Brave New World. I feel like this movie, you can definitely tell it's just 2 separate movies cut over 4 years into one movie that tries to be its best. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's a very even middle ground. And out of 12 movies in this multiverse saga so far, having it be 5th place for me seems very fitting. Coming in at 4th place is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This movie is very good. I feel like it's a step up in writing, in direction, in tone, and everything from the other 2 movies. It does have its comedic moments, but I also like that it has its very serious moments, whereas a lot of serious moments in Marvel movies are cut to slapstick comedy, and this doesn't really do that all too often. So this was a great entry to the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, and I hope they continue to do more. It doesn't have to be James Gunn, but with this new team that they got and that post-credit scene, I really hope to see more in the same kind of tone that Guardians 3 was. Entering into our top 3, in third place, I have Shang-Chi. This movie was a very pleasant surprise. It was the movie after Black Widow, where Black Widow just again felt out of place, and this was a fresh start to a brand new character. It was the first origin story that we had after Endgame of a whole new character. It added a whole new element to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a very fantastical way that I didn't anticipate, and I also didn't know that I wanted it at the same time, if that made sense. The Kung Fu was really cool. I hope we get a Shang-Chi 2. It's been far too long of a wait for a sequel to come out, and I hope we get it. My runner-up is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine. So this movie feels more like a send-off of a Fox movie than it does an MCU movie, which I kind of get. I like the original idea where it's like Deadpool goes around and kills the MCU and tries to make it the Fox universe. I think that would have been really fun. But what we got was awesome as well. I had such a great time from beginning to end. On opening night, I saw this movie 3 times in a row, and I don't do that often. When it came out to homes, I watched it twice within the same week, and I could just watch it at least once a week. This movie is so fun. It's so funny, and it's just an overall good time that anybody can enjoy. And in first place is going to be Spider-Man No Way Home. I love this movie so much. It obviously hits all the feels. I grew up with all 3 iterations of these Spider-Men. So just seeing all them together, seeing those iconic villains together, even like the not so good ones like Jamie Foxx's Electro, they just took everything that was like bad or hated on in all the iterations of the Spider-Man and just made it better. It made it fun. And it was just a good time at the movies. I remember it was, again, COVID times. And this is the first time, aside from Top Gun Maverick, it felt like everybody just finally came back together and just enjoyed this super fun film. And it was emotional, it was funny, it was action-packed. It was all the things that it needed to be to just bring people back to a space to where it's like, hey, let's go see a movie and have a good time. All right, guys, that's my order from my least favorite to my favorite in the Multiverse Saga films. Go ahead and let me know down below what you guys think and what your rankings are. One of my next videos is going to be all of the MCU films, all 35 of them from Iron Man up until Captain America Brave New World. So be on the lookout for that and have yourself a great day.